Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys. Right, this isn't the content that I plan to do today. And this isn't the content that I ever want to do. This is not true crime. This is utter nonsense that I'm wasting my time over. Which other case, because I'm not aware of one, which other case has generated so much BS over the last 2 years, like consistently over the last 2 years, than the Summer Wells case? Name me another case that has got this ridiculous. And, there's been a lot of hoo-ha lately about the billboards and the fake FBI agent, none of which I've attended to or been involved in because I wasn't involved in it at the time. And I'm not going to waste my time on it because it doesn't concern me. It's not relevant to me. But this is. And it's yet another person who has attempted to come into the Summer Wells case, into the community that has developed to spread awareness for Summer Wells, to talk about Summer Wells, to investigate a whole bunch of stuff over the last 2 years. Thank you, Suzette. Boom. That's a lot of money. It feels like a lot of money. I don't know how much that is in British pounds. I know that's South African rand. 399.99. That seems like an awful lot of money, but perhaps not 400 quid. That looks like 400 quid. But thank you so much, because it isn't. Somebody do the conversion for me. Somebody do the conversion for me. But thank you so much. Karen, I met a lady yesterday from Kingsport. She said Summer's parents were in some hillbilly gang. Oh, wow. About 20 quid. All right, 20 pounds. Thank you so much for the 20 pounds. Oh, 1765. Well, thank you so much. Anyway, okay, so the latest person to infiltrate the Summer Wells community with, I don't know, the hope of making a quick buck, I guess, is Steve Holder. Steve Holder. Now, some of you might have caught the live stream that I did yesterday evening, my time, over on Michelle Walks. If you did catch that, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the copyright strike that Steve Holder has given me for a video that is 100% mine. 100% mine. Now, what a copyright strike means is it's a threat to my channel. So it was on this channel, MichelleAfterDark. Although I did the rant, the massive rant that I did last night over on Michelle Walks. And I actually played the video because I've got the raw file, because it's mine, over on that live stream to prove beyond a shadow of any doubt, go find me. I don't think you should say anything, just my opinion. You don't need to justify my opinion. No, I do. I really do. And this is, I think this is important, because as someone who's been in the Summer Wells community since day one and has got 500 plus videos on my channel, spread across 2 channels, about the Summer Wells case, and then some hoo-ha Henry comes along and copyright strikes one of my videos, then I'm going to talk about that. Because it's not just a threat to my channel, it's a threat to anybody's channel. This guy, Steve Holder, could come along and strike anybody's channel who has something negative to say about his book. Because, in my opinion, this is nothing other than a malicious copyright strike. And it potentially affects any creator who says something that somebody else doesn't like. Listen, people yap about all sorts of things on YouTube, much of which I don't like, much of which I don't agree with. What do? Do I maliciously and erroneously copyright strike that person? No, because copyright law and the copyright strike system on YouTube is for very specific things, where someone has stolen your content and is using it out of the realms of the fair use system under the Copyright Act 1976. So what do you do if somebody says something on a YouTube video that you don't like? What do? You turn it off, right? You don't get butter over it and have a bruised ego over it, so much so that you maliciously and erroneously use copyright system to voice your displeasure, because that's all this is. That's all this is. But there has been a development this morning. YouTube have written to me, so I want to share that correspondence. And if you want to go back to the beginning and find out kind of, you know, the background to this, I laid all that out in last night's live stream over on Michelle Walks. If you want to know what video it was, and I went through that video with a fine-tooth comb on the live. I went through the whole video on the live, and every single piece of that video is either my content that I shot myself, I filmed myself. I'm going to prove it to you in a second. I have the raw file with the metadata. You've got to believe, when I complain about something, someone has done to me erroneously and maliciously, you better believe I come with receipts. You better believe it. So, So, yeah, there has been a development. YouTube have written to me wanting some more information. So I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to share the video's metadata with you. And this is not the kind of content I want to make. I didn't come into the true crime realm. I didn't start making videos in the true crime realm to have to come online and complain about people who are butthurt. That's not how I want to spend my time. But I do think this is important. I really do think this is important. That this guy is obviously, you know, he's obviously out to get YouTubers, and no surrender. No surrender. Because I'm 100% in the right here. The law is on my side. So Steve Holder, if you listen to this video, this is your notice to remove the copyright strike before YouTube does it for you. At least come online, remove the strike, apologize. Apologize for erroneously and maliciously copyright striking my video, which is 100% my content. That will at least take a little bit of the egg off your face. It doesn't do anything about your crappy book. It doesn't do anything about the way that you've tried to make a fast book out of people who want to know about the Summer Wells case. That's on you. But at least you can do that. That's within your control. That's within your grasp. And I know that you haven't yet contacted me about that debate challenge that I offered, but that's okay. That's an open offer. Debate Me Bro is an open offer if you want to have a think about it. Yeah, I strongly recommend you do Debate Me Bro, because if you think you know more about the Summer Wells community, so much so that you are able to write the book about it, then you better believe I'm going to challenge you to a debate. So that's the balls in your court. So you've got two balls in your court now. You've got the debate challenge ball in your court, and you also have the totally in your control the ability to click a button and email YouTube and say, I was wrong and I erroneously struck this person whose content is 100% hers. Ashley, oh my word. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. $100. That is very, very kind. Very kind. Thank you. Truth always wins. It totally does. Truth sometimes doesn't win. Sometimes there are injustices in the world that happen. But the law is there for a reason. The law is there to protect people, not to ride roughshod over. And the Summer Wells case and the Summer Wells community certainly isn't the place on YouTube for you to come along and try to make a fast buck. Are you still in my Facebook group, by the way, Steve Holder? Hold on, I'm going to check. Because you're about to get banned if you're still in there. Hold on. Bear with me. Members. Steve Holder. He is. He's still in my Facebook group. Well, you're gone. You're gone, dude. Remove member. Boom. Delete your activity. Ban. Boom. You're gone. You're gone. You're not coming into my Facebook group trying to glean little bits of information. You're not doing that. You can piss off. All right. So I'm going to go through the email that YouTube sent me. I'm going to go through my response. We're going to look at the metadata. And I'm going to play you the raw footage while I'm talking. You can just play in the background while I'm talking. But good morning, everyone, by the way. Good morning, good morning. It will be solved within the next 10 business days. 10 business days. That's how long YouTube gives people. I'm a little bit riled up, yeah. I don't like people riding roughshod over the law and erroneously trying to use the law to feel a little bit better about being butthurt about having a crappy book and people giving it bad reviews. And what you don't want, Steve, is to rile any more people in the true crime community. I mean, look at all the nonsense that has gone on, all the sides that have happened, all the people that have been at loggerheads in the Summer Wells case over a whole variety of things. I don't agree with a lot of what is said. sometimes I don't agree. Most of the time, though, I don't listen to it. Like I said, it's not why I've got a YouTube channel. Thank you, Crystallized Ice, for gifting 5 memberships. Who've we got here? Gina, Jackie, Karen Ann, Karma Carolina, and Cats Podgery. Welcome to memberships. You get a free membership, free to you, but courtesy of Crystallized Ice. Thank you so much. So check out the members' videos. There's quite a few of them now. So yeah, I don't like it. And, you know, this is the kind of thing, actually, that unites the community. This is the kind of thing that people can get behind and say, you know, let's put our differences aside for at least a short amount of time. Let's have a truce for at least a short amount of time and say, who's the real threat here? Who's the real threat? Who's the person who's tried to infiltrate this community to make a fast buck for themselves? And in my opinion, that is the author of the book that's called A Dark Truth, the chilling story of the Summer Wells case. Thinks he knows the dark truth when he actually doesn't. Do you think I've been quiet lately? Maybe I need to turn my microphone up. Maybe tired. I'm always tired, but that doesn't make me quiet. And maybe I just need to turn my microphone up a bit. And then people will say I'm blasting their eardrums. Lip Locked, I saw your... I can't find it now, but I did see your comment saying that he struck you as well. I was aware of that. People told me last night that he struck you as well. So, yeah, fight it. Anyway, this is the email that they sent me. Oh, actually, this is the message that I sent YouTube. So this was my response last night to the copyright strike. I couldn't find it last night. People asked me what I'd written, and I just wrote this, kept it short and sweet. The copyright strike has been submitted either in error or maliciously. The entirety of this video is all my own work, in caps. It's my voice, my footage, my intellectual property, and where outside sources have been cited, these are all in the public domain and not the property or content of the person who submitted the copyright strike. I request that the person who struck this video to remove the strike or take me to court so that I can prove that this video is all my own work, intellectual property, independently filmed and collated content. I swear under penalty of perjury, you've got to click yes to this, that I've a good faith belief that the material was removed due to a mistake or misidentification of the material to be removed or disabled. I consent to the jurisdiction of the Federal District Court for the district in which my address is located, or if my address is outside the United States, the judicial district in which YouTube is located, and will accept service of process from the claimant. So yes, I will. Yes, I will. So I don't know the judicial district in which YouTube is located, but if you want to take me to court, Steve, because I'm outside of the United States, I assume you will be communicating with the judicial district in which YouTube is located. So this could get very serious very quickly for you, Steve Holder, who erroneously and maliciously struck the content, which is 100% mine, which I can prove. So anyway, YouTube sent me this video, sent me this email. So I don't know what they misunderstood, but I think they probably should write this crap to everyone. So anyway, thank you for your counter notification. Unfortunately, it's unclear to us whether you have a valid reason for filing a counter notification. Okay, fair enough. They have to investigate, I guess. Counter notification should be submitted only when the content is removed due to a mistake or misidentification. Yes, it was. Yes. He mistakenly misidentified my content for his. I would argue he did it maliciously because his butt hurt, but that's just my opinion. I'm happy to go with what YouTube suggests and says, you know, this is a mistaken identification, that he, I don't know, may have some kind of a brain fart or something and just thought that my dogs were his dogs, and the woods that I walk through when I make my videos look like his woods, and it sounded like his voice instead of my voice. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in people's heads. Listen. So here are some questions that you may want to consider, and I carefully considered these before responding. Why do you believe that your use of someone else's copyrighted work is protected by copyright exceptions? Well, I can say here 100% that there was none of Steve Holder's copyrighted work in my video. Not 1 second of it. Some exceptions might include fair use, fair dealing, or uses for the purposes of quotation, criticism, review, caricature, parody, or What's pastiche? I don't even know whether I've done pastiche because I don't know what it is. Provide a detailed answer, including any relevant laws and or regulations. Well, I didn't need to do that because it's 100% my content and I can prove it. Right? I can prove it. Steve Holder, are you listening? I can prove it. Oh, dear. All right. Is the video your own original content, and do you own all the rights to it? Yes. The clips that I used are from Amazon.com, public domain, findsomewhereelse.com, not owned by Steve Holder, Medium.com, not owned by Steve Holder, although he used word for word, pretty much, an article that was produced by someone called Tatiana Santana, I think her name was, who's a journalist for Medium.com. So maybe Tatiana needs to complain to Steve Holder that he used her work in his book that he's now charging for, because I'm sure that's naughty. If you've used someone else's work with their permission, can you provide evidence of their permission to use their content, such as a license? Well, irrelevant. Is the content in the public domain? Well, Amazon.com is in the public domain. And yeah, all in the public domain. None of which is owned by Steve Holder. Keep in mind that a counter notification is a legal request that can result in the claimant taking legal action against you. Please do. Please do. Bring it on. No surrender. No retreat. Including filing a lawsuit against you for copyright infringement. To determine whether your content infringes someone else's copyright, you may wish to seek legal counsel before submitting a counter notification. I don't need to, because I know I'm in the right. So what you can do next, wait for your copyright strike to expire, which takes 90 days. Ask the claimant to retract their removal request. So this is due notice to Steve Holder to retract that removal request, to apologize. You can do that privately to YouTube, and then you can, I don't know, make a quick video, or you could even email me privately and I'll put that on my community wall, apologizing to me for erroneously and maliciously copyright striking me, and also to the Summerwells community for writing such a crappy book. Resubmit the counter notification if you still believe that your content was removed due to a mistake, blah, 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 and you're willing to defend possible legal action against you. Make sure that you explain in detail. All right, so I did that. I emailed them back. All right, so this is my email. Okay. Hello. You know I'm serious. You know I'm serious when I start an email with hello. I know that very few of you actually get email responses from me because I've got about 5 million unread emails. So I absolutely massively apologize to people who email me and I don't get back to, because I don't check my email inbox for like months on end, literally. Oh, I got a PayPal donation yesterday whilst I was in my emails. I noticed. Thank you, Donna, for the PayPal. That's very kind of you. And somebody bought me 5 coffees in the Buy Me a Coffee app. So thank you so much to that as well. Thank you to anyone who PayPals or Cash Apps or buys me a coffee that I often forget to mention, but I absolutely appreciate anybody who does that. All right, so getting serious here with the hello. Yesterday, I received an erroneous copyright strike by someone called Steve Holder. Mr. Holder has no right whatsoever to the content within the video that he requested you to remove. I filmed the footage within the entirety of the video. The audio throughout the video is myself talking, and the entire commentary is my opinion on the issue that is the reason for making the video. I edited the entire video, and again, I can provide the original edited file to prove this. In addition to the footage that I shot with my iPhone 12, which incidentally is of my 3 dogs playing in the woods near my home, approximately 4,000 miles away from where Mr. Holder lives. I edited in some public domain information from Amazon.co.uk, Medium.com, and a website called FindSummerWells.com. These additions were to demonstrate a point and used under fair use for commentary and criticism. I talk over each of these additions to demonstrate why I included this information in my video. Mr. Holder does not own the copyright for the websites Amazon.co.uk, unless he's like Jeff Bezos in disguise or something. Does Jeff Bezos still even own Amazon? I've no idea. Medium.com or FindSummerWells.com. The other short clips I included were a few seconds of footage from a TikTok video by someone called Candace Wells. Mr. Holder does not own the copyright for the edited in additional content. I edited in a few seconds of a police dispatch call, which is not owned nor references Mr. Holder. I also included a couple of screenshots from other sources, neither of which are owned by Mr. Holder. One was the milk jugs photo of Summer Wells, which is Candice's content. And I also put a screenshot that I took from Litlock No More's video of Steve Holder's crappy books front and back covers. That's it. At the end of the video, I edited in 1 minute of music, which is copyright free from YouTube's audio library. This music track is not owned by Mr. Holder. Therefore, to answer your questions below, I can state the following. 1. None of the content within the video that Mr. Holder erroneously struck is owned by him. The original footage is mine. I filmed it on my iPhone 12, and the audio file is 100% me voicing an opinion. I edited the entire video and can prove this if you would like me to provide the original files. Within the edit, I utilized a few seconds of content from other sources, all in the public domain, all acknowledged within my video, and links provided to viewers in the description box. All used under fair use for commentary and criticism, and importantly, none of which are owned by Mr. Holder. 2. Yes, the video is my original content and I own the rights to it. 3. The edited in pieces of information from other sources are in the public domain and none owned by Mr. Holder. I hope the above is clear enough explanation as to why I find a counterclaim towards Mr. Holder's erroneous copyright strike. I would like my video reinstated and the erroneous copyright strike removed. I am prepared to go to court over this, though obviously I am sure the issue can be resolved, Mr. Holder, are you listening, without resorting to a frivolous lawsuit over a copyright strike that was filed erroneously by Mr. Holder. Please inform me if there's any more information you need from me at this stage. Regards, Michelle Law, which is my actual legal name. So there you go. That's where we are at. Yes, the Copyright Act 1976, allowance made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarly education and research. Absolutely. Totally. Yeah, don't mess. Don't mess, I'm telling you. Do not mess. I'm sick and tired of people coming in to the true crime community. The Summer Wells case is an absolute shambles because of all of this nonsense. But here we are, because people keep doing this. This is the original file. So before I carry on talking and play this in the background, because it's nice and calming, right? I just want to show you the metadata. let's look at the metadata for the videos here. So the video that was on your screen, the original footage, is this. Okay. Thank you, Shelley Roo, for the $7.99 Australian dollars. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. The bully took on 2 ladies who are not to be messed with. Well, no, I know the law. I know the law here. Right, that's the file. Now, what you need to see is the metadata. Here we go. All right. All right, so this is the original file. No, that's the edited version. This is the original file here. This is the original file. 18 minutes and 18 seconds worth of content. So if we get the info for this, look at the metadata. Here we go. So, all right. So it was created on the 19th of July, 2023 at 9:17 a.m. All right, 9:17 a.m. Where from? Michelle's iPhone. I don't know why it says Kyle Lowe. That's my son's name. It's because we share an account, like we have 2 phones on the same account. So it's Michelle's iPhone. There you go. And then I last opened it today. Just opened it now at 14:01, as you just saw. Michelle's iPhone. And then this is the edited version. Okay, so created 19th of July at 12:04. So approximately 3 hours later, I'd finished the edits, just under 3 hours later. It took me just under 3 hours to do this editing. So original file, this, from my iPhone. Does a judge really need to see this? Steve Holder, does a judge really need to see this? Any judge of your choice. Okay, so 9:17 a.m., 19th of July from Michelle's iPhone. And then just shy of 3 hours later, I created this file. Took me nearly 3 hours to do the edits. 19th of July. And the name is The Dark Truth, the Chilling Story of the Summer Wells case, or whatever it is. All right, so I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But this is the original edit. So before I added my voice, before I added the Amazon bit and the Find Summer Wells bit, this is the actual raw footage that you're seeing right here. They would laugh their heads off. It's the very definition of a frivolous lawsuit. Exactly the definition of a frivolous lawsuit. But this is what we're dealing with. The people in the true crime community have had the CPS called on them, like erroneous CPS calls. They've been swatted. How much further does this need to go? Does this need to go all the way to a judge in the federal jurisdiction of YouTube? Because I am more than willing to do that, Steve Holder. Are you? Are you? It is a lot of work that I've put in over the last 2 years, absolutely. Which is why there's 2 balls now in Steve Holder's court. The first ball is the debate challenge. Debate me, bro. Debate me, bro. On the facts and the circumstances surrounding the Summer Wells case. We'll start right at the beginning, from the day she disappeared. We can do it on my channel. We can do it on your channel. Do you even have a channel? I assume you do have a channel because you're able to make a copyright claim. Shall we have a look at what Steve Holder's channel looks like? Does anybody know what his channel is? Is it this dude here? Hold on. Is this the dude? 492 subscribers. Welcome to my world. I am the author, defender of the Christian faith, and recovering politician. I ran for US Congress. Is that the one? Is that him? Doesn't say that he wrote a crappy book, but I don't know. That might be someone different. I don't know. I mean, you can understand why why law enforcement is pissed off with YouTubers. You can understand it. There you go. That could have been a really good book, couldn't it? Like a local's view of the people involved. You know, the local community. We could have had a real insight into that community. Could have done original interviews. It could have been a really good book. And in principle, I have absolutely no problem. As I said last night, as I said in the video, the very video that he copyright struck, I have no problem with people writing books about true crime cases. I have no problem with people making money off true crime. If you write a book, you deserve to be paid for it. If you make content of any kind and you have the ability to, be paid for it. Because it's the time, the resources, the thought process, everything, right? If you have the ability, then get paid for it. If you think there's a problem with people making money off true crime on YouTube or by writing books, well, you're never going to watch Netflix. You're never going to watch the news. You're never going to watch any television that remotely involves crime, even the news, because they're all making money. Every single. Do you think the news makes news content for the benefit? What, for the health? For the public service? No, they're making it. They're making that content, and they're getting paid for it. They're reporters, they're anchors, they're presenters. They get paid a wage, hopefully. The channel or the network is being paid by advertisers. That's how YouTube works. That's how the media works in general. If you choose not to monetize your YouTube channel, or you've not got 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 watch time hours, and you can't monetize your channel, ads will still appear on Cassie and Tilly's channels. They're not monetized. They've got over 1,000 subs, but they don't have 4,000 watch time hours because they don't post very often. So their channels are not monetized. However, ads show on their videos. Who gets that money? YouTube gets 100% of it. So YouTube still makes money off non-monetized channels. I have no problem with it. If I had a problem with it, I would be completely hypocritical being a YouTube content creator. Whether I chose to monetize my channel or not, money would still be made off the content that I created. Whether it's 100% YouTube or whatever it is, 45% YouTube and 55% me. I can't remember what it might be 40-60. I can't remember. So, yeah, it could have been a really good resource, and a different medium than social media. Because believe it or not, some people don't watch social media. Some people don't watch YouTube. Some people don't have a Twitter or a Facebook. You know, they're old school. They're real world only. So a book, a really good book with local insights, with new content, would have sold really well within the true crime community, but also it would have been another avenue to raise awareness for Summer and her case. But no, you just took some, I don't know, plagiarized some websites and then maybe added a few of your own words. That's what it appears to me that you did. Team Michelle. Well, if I don't get a proper response from YouTube very soon, I am going to be tweeting Team YouTube. Is it Stephen Holder? Is that his channel? Did I get the wrong guy up? His channel is Steve Holder 492 subs. Yeah. Oh, so it was the right one. Okay. Shelley Roo, member for 11 months. He needs to put his money where his mouth is. He totally does. He totally does. Because if he wants to take me to court, then I don't know, it's going to cost him money, isn't it? It's going to cost him money to do that. And I'm going to win. So you're going to pay me damages, dude. So, yet again, take this copyright strike down. Email YouTube and say you made a mistake and apologise, and nothing more will be said. Do not take the Summer Wells case in vain. This is not a community that is going to lie down and let you just ride roughshod over videos that you don't like, over content that you don't like, and misuse YouTube's copyright policy and misuse YouTube's the law. You're just misusing the law. That's what you're doing. And it's wrong and it needs to stop. Just like the people who erroneously ring the CPS on creators. That's appalling when people do that. But this is in the same vein. I don't think this is as serious, honestly, as erroneously ringing the CPS on a creator. I think that's the lowest of the low thing to do. I really do. This is a lesser, but still, it's just an example of the way that this community has just been taken advantage of. Emily, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Who've got them? Your local grandmummy, Angela, Just Steph, Marie, and Be the Bean. Welcome to a month of memberships, courtesy of Emily. And Paper Chaser, thank you for the $9.99. And the dancing, I don't know what that is. Dancing bird, is it? I don't know. But thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Are you liking this nice, relaxing content that Steve Holder has mistakenly thought was his? This is pre-edit. Pre-edit. Anyway, that's my rant over. So tomorrow we'll resume actual true crime content. I was very pleased. I was Down Under with Love, member for 10 months. Long live the snark. Yes, long live the snark. His dogs look a lot like my dog. They've even got the same names. They've even got the same names. It's absolutely uncanny. Uncanny. Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. So who is Harper? Yeah, I know. I know. So yeah, I was prepared for a late night last night. And the Taylor Schabusiness case, phase 2. So on Wednesday, after just a 3-day trial and a 42-minute jury deliberation process, she was found guilty of first-degree murder, mutilating or whatever it is a corpse. I don't know what the wording of the law is there, but basically dismembering, post-shad, and third-degree SA. And then yesterday, after a day of testimony in phase 2, which was in Wisconsin, it seems that they do a criminal component and then a civil component where there is a not guilty by reason of insanity defense. So she was pleading not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. Am I going to strike him? I can't strike him because I don't have anything to strike him on. What I've done is counterclaimed. So you're basically countering it, saying that it's a mistake and a misidentification. He's just misidentified my dogs as his dogs and these woods and my file with my metadata from Michelle's iPhone. That's all been, it's just mistaken identity. That's all. Doppeldogs. But yeah, if I'll remember for 9 months, get her, Michelle. I certainly will. Certainly will. But yeah, she, what is it? Right, what is it about defense witnesses? Like, it's not guilty by reason of insanity. Like, that defense is not common. It's not often that a defense will use it because it's so bad. It's so difficult to prove, even if you were legally insane at the time that you committed a heinous crime. But in the Letitia Stout trial from a couple of months ago, the only defense witness that we talked about was Dr. Dorothy Lewis, and look how terrible she was. And then yesterday at Taylor's trial, we had this woman, Dr. Litton, I think her name was, and she was better than Dorothy Lewis, in my opinion. But look, even if you have, oh, that was where I fell in. That. I fell down a hole. I put that blooper on my members area. So you guys who've been gifted memberships, you can go and watch that blooper. I've got a few bloopers when I fall. I fall down holes or slip on mud or whatever, but yeah. Yeah, he fell in a hole. He did. He fell in a hole. Well, this is the original footage. So this is pre-edit. So I edited it out of the edited file and then just clipped the blooper and put that in my members. So this is the original file. That's what we're looking at before any edits. That's why I'm not talking in it, because I voiced over. I went out, filmed, then voiced over, and then edited, which is a process that took nearly 3 hours. So I did the walk, then I did the voiceover, then I edited it all together. A process that took nearly 3 hours. And then obviously the walk in addition to that time. So let's say 4 hours. 4 hours of work that he thinks is his. So, don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you. Yeah, so even if you have a mental disease or defect, right, if you've got, I don't know, bipolar or schizophrenia, like this Dr. Litton was trying to say that Taylor had bipolar because she'd been in a mental institution a couple of times for like 3-week stays when she was a teenager. But she was high on drugs. This is the problem. She was high on drugs, and after 3 weeks, when she was clean and sober, she was normal again. She wasn't manic or psychotic. So the thing that was making her manic and psychotic was the drugs. And I'm afraid to say, as I said in my live the other night on this case, on Taylor's case, that voluntary drug consumption, whatever you do when you're voluntarily intoxicated, however insane it was, you have to, it's your responsibility. You can't say, oh, I was high or I was drunk, I didn't know what I was doing, and I just committed this crime because I didn't know what I was doing. No, because that's not a mental disease or defect. That's your choice. That's your choice to get so high or so bladdered that you don't know what you're doing. And then you have to pay the consequences. And that's exactly what the jury found. So 55 minutes it took them. So it took them 42 minutes to deliberate on her criminal charges. And then the phase 2 was a civil matter to decide what type of sentence she would get. Because if she was deemed criminally insane at the time of the crime, under Wisconsin statute, that's a civil matter. And she would have been sent to a mental institution until she got better. And then she would be released, because it's the same as Colorado's not guilty by reason of insanity. But no, the jury said no. You weren't insane at the time of the crime. You weren't insane. You're just high on meth. She was high on meth, and then she absolutely, oh, there we go, the video's ended. She absolutely, so that's original footage, as you can see. So she strangled him with a dog choker chain. So she strangled him because she thought it was a good idea and she enjoyed it. And she said that during her confession. And then she spent several hours dismembering him with a bread knife. And she said she did that because she needed to hide the body, and she couldn't have got the body out. She didn't think she could get the body out without dismembering him and putting the pieces in bags. So the definition of legal insanity, I know, it's horrible, isn't it? It's horrible. Horrible. But she told the cops that she liked it. And she's a Jeffrey Dahmer fangirl. So while she was high on meth, she thought it'd be a great idea to basically live up to what her hero did and murder someone and dismember them. That's why she did it, really. Jeffrey Dahmer fangirl thought it was a great idea to do it. Absolutely evil. This is evil behavior. This is not insane behavior. Doesn't matter whether you've got bipolar, because at the time, the bipolar, whether or not she had bipolar, I don't think she's got bipolar. I think she just had a problem with drugs. But even if she did have bipolar or some other kind of mental disease or defect, and I'm using the words that Wisconsin statute uses, then I don't know what to tell you. Other than it took 42 minutes to deliberate the criminal matter, the murder and the other charges, and then 55 minutes to determine that she was perfectly within her right mind. She wasn't legally insane. If you're legally insane, you don't know what you're doing. If you've ever seen somebody in an active psychosis, they can't tell the difference between reality and their own world. So they don't know what they're doing is wrong. But telling the cops just hours after the murder occurred, still with blood on your hands and blood on your shirt, and then tries to say that she had OCD. That was another thing that this Dr. Litton tried to say that Taylor's got OCD. Well, she didn't have OCD on the night that the murder took place because she still had blood in her hands. So when Dr. Litton was saying that Taylor has to wash her hands 40 times a day, well, she didn't even wash the blood off her hands. So I don't really understand that. But anyway, and and putting the body parts in bags was her way of hiding the body. So she clearly knew what she was doing to hide that body. A really stupid, ridiculous way to do it, but still, that's what she did. She cleaned up. That room was clean. She'd used Clorox wipes. She knew exactly where the cleaning products were that she'd used. She knew exactly where all the bags were and what body parts were in what bag. She knew exactly what she was doing. So the jury gave 55 minutes worth of time out of their lives to deliberate this. And then the defense lawyer has the gall to come along and say that he didn't agree with their decision and he wanted some kind of ruling that Dr. Litton's testimony needed to be listened to again. And the judge just shut that down and said, no chance. So she's being sentenced on the 26th of September. So it's another one of those states that takes forever to sentence. So likely she's going to get life in prison without parole. I would imagine that's what she's going to get. No death penalty in Wisconsin, unfortunately, because you know my views on the death penalty, but unfortunately Wisconsin doesn't have that option. Defense lawyer was a clown. He was. I mean, to be fair, everybody deserves a defense. Everybody needs a defense. He did try his best. There was nothing to defend, though. You know, there was no defense. So all he could do was just keep saying, "Oh, I pass a motion for a mistrial. I'm going to motion for a mistrial." How many times did he say that? You know, ridiculous. He tried. He tried. He did his job. He did his job. But I don't know. He did have a tough job. He did have a tough job. Not as tough as her first attorney. Her first attorney was attacked in the courtroom. She attacked him in the courtroom. And it took one of the sheriff's deputies like a minute or two to restrain her. She was kicking and flailing about on the floor. Have you seen the footage of that? Yeah, so the previous lawyer said, I'm not working with this nutcase anymore. And he withdrew. So the lawyer that took it on, there was a hot mic moment, which I didn't record. I'm going to have to find it again. But apparently, when the mics were left on during one of the breaks, or it may have been right at the end, he said, "Thank you for being good." So, like, thank you for behaving yourself, basically. But I'm going to have to go and find that again. That's just what somebody said. So I'm going to have to go and find it to confirm that that's actually what he said. But she probably did have mental health problems, yeah. But 1 in 5 people in the world at some point in their life will have a mental health problem. So that's not within your control. Except, just like any other health condition, if you decide to do things in your life that makes that condition worse, that's on you. So let's say, for example, if you're diabetic and you choose not to take your insulin, and then you choose to like just eat a load of cakes and sugary stuff, and then you have a diabetic coma, that's on you. The condition isn't on you. The condition is something that you have to deal with, and there is medication for. And as long as you take your medication, you're going to be fine. If you have high blood pressure, you know, and a heart condition or something, then take your medication and your blood pressure stays normal. But if you choose not to take your medication and you choose to do a bunch of things that make your condition worse, then whatever happens to you is up to you. So it's the same with mental health. That's no different. If you have bipolar and there is a medication that will help you, and you know that if you take substances like meth, it makes your condition worse, that's on you. That's on you. And it should not be a matter for the court, really. People misusing the not guilty by reason of insanity defence. We've had 2 in the last 2 months that have done this. Letitia Stoke and Taylor Schabusiness. They need to share a cell. They'd be brilliant together. They could have a little, I don't know, bromance or what's the word? Anyway, they could be the best of friends. The best of friends. What's the dad locked up for? I don't know. Hold on. Wisconsin courts. Wisconsin. I'm assuming he's locked up in Wisconsin. Circuit court. I agree. Right. What's his surname? Coronado. Too raw. His birthday. I know it's 1972, but I don't know his actual birthday. I think it's May, but I don't know what. I'll just search that. Okay. This will be the dude, May 1972. So we've got 2022, 2022. Party dismissed. Don't know what that's about. That's the same. Speeding. Not a criminal offence. Operate with restricted closed substance. Controlled substance. This is not a criminal offence. Money penalty. Divorce. Charges in this case were read, and so this or other cases is a charge that is dismissed as part of a plea agreement. However, the defendant agreed to have the court consider the charges while sentencing another crime. The defendant cannot be prosecuted. Don't know what that is. Oh, wow. Second degree essay of a child. No way. No way. Oh, wow. So this is from 2018. So guilty. So there was two counts. So one was dismissed. Presumably, because he pled guilty, they only charged him with one count. That's presumably what that means. So that's 2018. So I'm guessing that's his most recent crime. You know, there's speeding and stuff. I don't like Wisconsin's system. It's awkward. Right, final pre-trial. Court with attorney. Motion to adjourn granted. So this is 10/25/21. So they sealed the motion for the juvenile involved. To admit audio-visual recording, email to attorneys, all witnesses wanted to be in person. So we've got the defendant's biological son, a DNA test. So I don't know. Oh, there is sentencing hearing. So that's only like a few days ago. So he's only just been convicted. That's his sentencing hearing. Let's go right down to the bottom. Okay, defendant to have no contact with AKP or her residence, place of employment. Defendant to have no contact with Kathleen C or her residence or place of employment. Third party may pick up personal belongings. So it's a juvenile female, I think we can conclude. So that's second-degree sexual assault. Then 2017, guilty of disorderly conduct with domestic abuse, a Class B misdemeanor. So that's 2017. And then that's just small claims. That's a civil. That's interesting. No, it's definitely the right guy. May 1972. So there you go. Yeah, Taylor's 25, yeah. Sure wasn't Father of the Year. It's interesting that there's nothing before. That's 2015, that's a civil. It's interesting that there's nothing before 2017, like criminal. It's interesting. Because this is for the entire state of Wisconsin. But I think he lived in Illinois, didn't he, before? So maybe if I looked up... oh, hold on a minute. Oh, that's junior. So this is Arthur Senior. That's Junior. So what was the Junior? Speeding. So Junior got done for speeding and operating with restricted controlled substance. So that was Junior. So Senior got done for SA and DV and then some other stuff. But Junior was, he was killed in a motorcycle accident. Yeah, that's right, Christina. He died in a motorcycle accident. So it's pretty sad. Yeah, they lived in Illinois for a while. And they've also got links in Texas. So I think it's his family that come from Texas. Possibly. Taylor went to live with her grandparents for a while when she was being bad at school. And that was down in Texas. But I don't know whether Arturo has ever lived in Texas. Maybe he has. But maybe if we check the records for Illinois, maybe there would be more like pre-2017. Yeah, her mother died. It is unfortunate. There's a lot of unfortunate circumstances, but still nothing, however bad, prepares you to murder someone and then completely dismember their body. You know what I mean? It's like, that's something that you've chosen to do because you enjoyed it, not due to any circumstances that happened to you. But yeah, so that's case done. Just wait for the sentencing. Has Stoke been sentenced yet? I can't remember. It's just occurred to me. I can't remember. Or is she being sentenced in August? I lose track. I do lose track. Can we possibly watch the father's interview? Yeah. Can do. Oh, they're going to go barking outside. There you go. Can you hear them? Hold on. I'll just find it.
How?
All right, here we go. It's not very long. Okay, so I'm playing this from Law and Crime Network. Law and Crime Network doesn't need to bother to copyright strike me. I'm sure they won't, but that's where I'm getting this content from. Let me know that you can hear this okay. So this is Taylor's dad's on the stand. Why can I not hear that? Can you hear that?
Okay.
I can't hear that.
Sir, if you could just
I had this problem last night.
turn and face her, and as best you can, raise your right hand.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter now before the court, so help you God.
I do.
Please have a seat and state your name for the record.
Can you
Arturo
hear that?
Coronado.
Okay, Mr. Fairlight, the witness is yours.
Thank you. Mr. Coronado,
Hold on. I'm going to just get some headphones. That might help. Audio great. It's weird. Why can I not hear it? Weird. Excuse me, Noodle. All right. Sometimes if I put headphones in, I can hear it, and sometimes that doesn't work. It didn't work for me last night. Let's try again.
good
Oh
morning.
my God, that's loud.
Good morning.
Sir, how old are you?
51,
What is your date of birth?
5/24/72.
All right. So can you still hear that? Okay, I can hear it now. Okay, so 5/24/72. So we got the right guy.
Are you currently married, sir?
I am not.
Sorry, guys. Christina, thank you so much. Questioning of the dad was weird. I mean, they accepted she was in mental facilities as a kid, but she wasn't taking her meds, mood disorder, bipolar, and they provided she admitted to using meth. They should have just pled guilty. They should have done. A complete waste of taxpayers' money. If you're in the state of Wisconsin, a total waste of your taxpayer dollars. But thank you so much for the $49.99. That is so kind of you. I forgot to put my banner up. I know we're now talking about Taylor, but I forgot to put my banner up. When I talk about summer or anything to do with her case, I always put her banner up, but I just forgot. All right, let's play this through now. So this is Taylor Schabusiness' dad. Taylor's finding this very amusing by the looks of things. Dear me.
You were living in Green Bay, correct?
Yeah, you know that, Chris.
Okay. And your daughter is Taylor Denise Schabusiness, is that fair?
She is.
Who is her mother?
Marla,
Okay. And you were married to Marla for a while, sir?
of course.
How many years was it?
We were married about 10, together about 15, 16.
Did you live together in Wisconsin or some other state? Illinois.
Illinois and Wisconsin.
And where was your daughter Taylor Schabusiness born?
In Evanston, Illinois.
Does Taylor have a sister or brother?
She has a brother that passed away last year.
What was his name?
AJ, Arturo Drep.
Okay.
JREP.
And why did he pass away? What happened?
July 1st last year. Motorcycle accident.
When you were living in Illinois with your daughter Taylor Schabusiness, was she ever brought to a hospital at all?
No.
Okay. Did she ever receive any mental health treatment when you lived in Illinois?
No.
Okay. Did something happen to Taylor's mother at some point?
She passed away.
Okay.
She passed away May 20th, 2009. In her sleep.
Okay. Did that take a toll on your daughter Taylor?
Well, of course.
Can you tell me a little bit,
Took a
sir?
toll on my son as well and me.
Okay. It took a toll on everybody, correct?
But yeah,
And when her mother passed away in May of 2009, how old was Taylor?
11, probably 11 and a half.
Okay.
My
And-
son and daughter were, about 9 and a half, 11 and a half years old.
Okay. Did Taylor go to school that day that her mother passed away?
I tried to get them to go to school, but they knew something was going on.
Okay.
They came back.
Can you describe a little bit how the death of Taylor's mother took a toll on her or impacted her? Can you give me a little bit of commentary on that?
Well, they were pretty young. I mean, obviously, their mom's not around anymore, and Marla was ill, so just I guess they kind of knew what was going on, but it was unexpected. We watched the movie the night before and fell asleep, and I woke up and my wife was already cold, already passed.
You found her?
She was laying next to me.
Okay. And what about the kids? What about Taylor? Did she see her mom in that state?
They did not see. No, I did not allow that.
Okay. But were the kids in the house?
They were upstairs in their bedrooms.
Okay. After that occurred, did you see any?
I was on mute then. Why is she smiling? I mean, I know that I sometimes smile when something's uncomfortable or I'm nervous. But this seems to be something that she did throughout the entire case. It's like weird.
Any changes in Taylor's behavior, first of all?
She's a little rambunctious. Nothing. I mean, she played volleyball. She had a good amount of friends she hung out with. She was a normal kid.
Did things change at all for her?
I wouldn't say too much. She got in trouble a little bit at school, but
What's that face? I love the way that Law and Crime kept focusing like close up on her face.
I don't know, something with a band instrument.
What happened with that?
She just took somebody's band instrument
And
then returned it, but nothing major.
when did you come to Green Bay? What year? Do you know?
2000. I started working here in 2007.
2007. Where did you work at?
I worked for Verizon
Okay.
before it was.
Is she medicated now at this moment? I think so. She's been court-ordered to take medication. So I think so. But him saying that she was a normal kid at school can't be true, because she was hospitalized twice when she was 14 and 16 for, presumably she was so high she was psychotic, and she was diagnosed with bipolar at one of those hospitalizations. But then there's this question mark as to whether she was actually bipolar or whether it was just the drugs that were making her manic. And because when she came down off the drugs, she was perfectly normal. But having said that, in 2021, she was court-ordered to take medication. That was around the time her son was born. This all came out yesterday during the expert testimony when the doctors were talking about her case.
It was GTE, then turned into Verizon.
Okay.
18 years.
Right. And when you came to Green Bay, did Taylor go to school here then?
Of course.
Of course. Where did she go to school?
She went through the Howard Somical School District.
And did she go to Bayport High School as well?
What
Yes,
is she laughing at?
Did you get information that she was having issues at school?
Well, yeah.
What can you tell me?
From what I can recall, just normal. Just kind of acting out, I guess. Just there's a couple of little instances that happened in high school, but it's kind of why I yanked her out of there and sent her to Texas so she could graduate and kind of get away from the issues that were going on here.
She went to Texas to live with her grandparents.
Oh,
Parents?
Correct.
What-
so she went to Texas to live with her grandparents when she was acting out at school so that she could graduate. So maybe her grandparents were strict or something. I don't know. Maybe they kept her in line. So there is that link with Texas and her grandparents. So I don't know whether that's his parents or whether that would have been her mother's parents. I don't know. She's laughing because she knows he's feeding them fudge truth, still trying to protect her. Yeah, he is trying to protect her. However, he's not doing the defense any favors here. Because in saying that she was just a normal kid with just a few problems, just a few normal, teenage rambunctiousness, is not helping the defense. Because it's saying she's just a normal person. And he's a witness for the defense. It's interesting.
When was that, do you know?
2017, I believe. I'm not sure.
Okay. How old was she in 2017? Do you know?
She was 16 and a half, probably 17.
16, 17. How long did she live with her grandparents then in Texas?
About a year, a little over a year until she graduated. Maybe 2 years. About a year, maybe a year and a half.
Was that Cotulla, Texas?
That's correct.
Was there a point where
She makes me want to jump through the screen and bitch slap her. I'm sorry, but she does. Just stupid smirking.
she got pregnant?
Well, about a year and a half ago, maybe.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then she had a baby, correct?
Yes, she did.
And the baby is currently living in Texas with the grandparents, correct?
Yeah. How is that relevant to anything here? Why do we need to talk about him?
Let me ask you this. So before the baby was born,
Defensive much. I don't know why he was defensive about that. Tilly. She's barking.
was she placed at Nicolay Psychiatric Center?
Before the baby was born?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Did you see her at the Nicolay Psychiatric Center?
Oh,
when she was
yeah,
there?
yeah. I'm sorry. It's just so much going on.
It's through Brown County.
Yeah, I went to take her there myself, actually.
Okay. Why did you
Yeah.
take her there?
She just wasn't in the right state of mind.
Was she suicidal?
Probably,
Was she psychotic?
I guess.
Objection, I don't think this witness has the ability to answer that question.
Rephrase the question.
Okay. Was she experiencing like hallucinations?
She was not in the right state of mind at all. So I feared that she would hurt herself. So that's why I took her. We both agreed. We both went there together.
And
So that's 2021. So she was hospitalized when she was 14, hospitalized when she was 16, and then hospitalized again. And that's when she was court ordered to take medication when the baby was born. Now, that's interesting because it sounds to me, if this was after the baby was born, it sounds to me she could possibly have had postpartum psychosis, which does lend itself to her actually having an underlying condition of bipolar. But even so, makes no odds in terms of the crime she committed. Doesn't matter. There's thousands and thousands of people. I think it's something like 1% of people in the world have got bipolar disorder. But bipolar does not equal someone murdering, dismembering, and being necrophiliac towards someone. It just doesn't. So there's a lot more to her psyche and her and her crime than just saying she's got periods of psychosis. And certainly any substances like methamphetamine she was taking or cocaine or whatever she was taking would make that psychosis worse. And again, that leads me around to that's her responsibility. And if she was under the effects of drugs when she committed the murder, that's on her responsibility. That's her call. That's not insane. And even if you are, listen, even if you are in active psychosis, if you can tell the difference between right from wrong at the time, Now, probably if you are in a real active psychosis, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between right and wrong, because you're not going to be able to tell the difference between reality and your own fiction. However, immediately after the murder, when the cops picked her up, she was perfectly normal. In the day before she committed the murder, she was perfectly normal. Witnesses attest to it. And she was on police body cam. She was interviewed straight after the murder, and she was perfectly normal. Not manic, not in any kind of psychosis. So no one is going to come along to me and say, oh, she just happened to have this very temporary psychosis while she strangled him. And then she came round and then realized what she was doing was wrong. So she decided to dismember him to get and clean up to try to get away with it. Absolute nonsense. The jury made exactly the right decision. Exactly the right decision, in my opinion.
And try to get help, and then ended up releasing her, and she came home, and that was about it.
Okay. Was she prescribed some medications and things like that?
She was at that evening, no. But yeah, she has been on some medications that she never liked taking those pills. I mean, they kind of messed her up even worse.
Did they cause her to hallucinate or cause her to have
I think it
problems?
all started with a Seroquel that was taken, back, I don't understand too much about those prescription drugs.
All right. Some people do have adverse reactions to prescription drugs, right? People can have adverse reactions to all sorts of prescription drugs. But I submit to you, dear friends, that the real issue was the methamphetamine that she was taking. That's the real problem. Those are the drugs that are really causing the issue. My word.
But they never agreed with her at all.
Okay. And do you know the other medications that she was asked to take?
ADHD, Adderall, I believe.
Anything about Haldol?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I know she was prescribed some stuff, but I don't know the names.
Okay. Did you talk to some of the doctors or psych?
I mean, ADHD meds are just a derivative of amphetamine, aren't they? So that's interesting. Yes, she's got a child. Yes, she's got a child, Mary. He was born in 2021. He's living with grandparents. So I don't think he's ever lived with her. I don't think he lives with her paternal grandparents. So the child's dad's parents. So poor thing. Hopefully he grows up fine and he has a good life and he doesn't inherit her problems. That can be true, Cyanide Cupcake. That can be true. You don't need to play devil's advocate. That's absolutely true. That medications do cause problems in some people. Any medication can cause problems. Even over-the-counter, very minor medications can cause problems in some people who are genetically susceptible. And certainly psychotropic medications, antidepressants, antipsychotics, sedatives, they can all have adverse reactions in some people. Some people, they work fine for. And I would argue that the majority of people, they actually work fine for, as long as you're on the right dosage for you and the right treatment protocol for you, they work fine. But in some people, it gives them an adverse reaction. And it could well be that for her, that was the case. We don't know. We'll probably never know. But I still submit to you that the real issue here is the methamphetamine. And that's her. That's on her. So, yeah.
Psychiatrist at the Nicolay Psychiatric Facility.
Judge, I'm going to object. I think this witness can offer his observations and the facts that he's aware of from what he observed of Ms. Schabusiness with respect to what he learned from doctors about her mental health conditions. We have professionals who are going to answer questions based on the records. Those people are better equipped to answer those questions. The information he received from doctors is hearsay.
It's not hearsay. I didn't ask what they said. I just asked if you talked to the doctors, Your Honor.
Sure. So the question that's pending isn't asking for hearsay. I think the objection was made because it sounds like that's where we're headed. So He can answer the question that was just asked, and then I'll just indicate, Mr. Freilich, that objection is probably coming if you go the next step. But the question that's pending can be answered. So I think the question was, did you talk to anybody at Nicolay?
I did.
Ask another question. Mr.
Okay.
Freilich.
He was a great judge. I really liked him. Very softly spoken, but very firm. And I think very fair with the way that he handled the many objections that the defense had. But obviously, in this instance, it's the prosecution that are objecting. What's Daddy in jail for? Second-degree essay of a child. We ascertained that a few minutes ago. I got his court records up. So if you rewind maybe, I don't know, 15 minutes, I got the Wisconsin court records up. So we worked that out together.
Did Taylor live with you in Green Bay for a while?
For a little bit, yeah.
Was that in 2021 or what year was it?
I believe so, yeah. But again, speaking to them and, her being an adult, they really, even being a father, weren't allowed to disclose anything.
Right. Sure. When she lived with you, sir, what address did she live with you at?
1130 Moraine Way.
And how long did she live with you?
Just a few months.
Did it ever come to a point where you didn't want her to stay there anymore because her behaviors were getting worse or her mental status was getting worse?
No, I love my daughter, so I'll do whatever it takes to help her out.
And that didn't help the defense either. That didn't help her. Like, because the attorney, really would have wanted him to say, yeah, she's been getting worse. Like, she's had mental health problems like all her life, but she's been getting worse. And I got to a point where I couldn't cope with her. But he's like, no. Didn't help at all.
Did you ever review any of her records at all?
Objection. I don't think he can testify to the content of, again, I think it's the same objection. He can answer whether he reviewed them. He can't answer anything about the content of the record.
Your Honor, the state, what they're trying to do is they're trying to anticipate an objection. They know this one is not an objectionable one, in my opinion. And any good parent, when you go to the doctor, you're going to talk with the physician or the psychologist or whoever it is about the status of your child. So I'm just asking that.
It's not like I didn't try. I tried talking to her.
Wait. So I'm going to overrule the objection at this point, and the question can be asked. Mr. Freilich, why don't you ask it again so the witness has it in his mind?
Okay, Your Honor. I kind of forgot. So hopefully
Did you review some of the records of your daughter? Did you review any of the records?
Like at the facility?
Yes.
Again, she was an adult at the time, and I can't. Yeah,
The
she
answer
was.
no,
She
Mr.
was.
Freilich.
Yeah.
when she was living at your house, sir, on Moraine Way, was she ever experiencing any hallucinations or anything like that?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Just know that she wasn't in the right frame of mind. Kind of see things. She'd like to walk around, and we take a walk, cemetery, just right down the street. But she just needed, just to kind of get out.
Yeah, that hand sign. Yeah, it did look like a gang sign. I don't know. Or whether she was signaling for him to shut up. I don't know.
Walk around and, I guess, ease her mind.
Did you have concerns about her from a physical or mental standpoint?
Always.
Okay.
Always.
All right. Thank you. Nothing further. I appreciate that.
Do you have any cross-examination?
Just briefly, Mr. Coronado, were you aware of whether or not your daughter was employed during the time that she was residing with you on Moraine Way?
She was not at the time at that. No.
Do you know anything about her employment history as an adult?
Sure.
And had she held jobs in the past?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know where she worked?
She worked for Saputo. She worked a couple of years, Saputo, 3.5 years probably.
And is that relatively recently? Prior to her arrest, of course.
That, well, yeah. Right. Prior to,
Yeah, and
she was doing really well there too, until her boyfriend / husband got out of jail. I turned everything upside down.
in part because of the methamphetamine use, right?
Yep.
So Taylor was doing pretty well, and then she started using the drugs.
That didn't help the defense either, and she knows it. So Taylor was doing well, and then she started using the drugs, and he said, yeah. That's funny. Looney Tunes. That's the name of her gang. Yeah, crazy, but not insane. That's the important part. Crazy, but not insane. Holy moly. We're back to Steve Holder. Do you think it could be because you use the title of his book for your video? Could be. I don't know. But you can't dictate to somebody to not use a certain title. I could use any title. A title of a video is not copyrighted. It's the content. So if he objects to the title of the video, copyright striking the entire video is a complete abuse of YouTube's copyright system. He could simply have messaged me and said, could you reword your title, please? And I probably would have done. But then again, Litlock No More has just said I didn't use his title, and she's been copyright struck as well. So I don't think it's anything to do with the title. I think it's him being butthurt for a bad book review. Simple as that. All right, we'll finish this. It's nearly over now.
No further questions.
Pretty bad drug too.
Anything on that, Mr. Freilich?
What was the drug?
No, meth, heroin, whatever else. I don't know.
Marijuana?
And I don't know. The kid was already doing that shit before, and just a fucking loser. And he got my daughter involved in that shit.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Nothing else.
Anything on that?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. You can step down.
Now, she said something to him as he passes by. I think she says, love you.
Go Carol.
I don't know.
Mr. Freilich.
I
I don't know
call
what she says.
Dr. Diane Litton, PhD.
Oh, this is Diane Litton. That's coming on now. But yeah, so that was Taylor's dad, who is currently serving time for, by the looks of the court records, second-degree essay of a minor. So, love you, Dad. I think she said love you. I love you, go Bears. Oh, okay. I love you, go Bears. I love you, love hurts. I love you, go. Anyway, take care. Could have been. Yes, the daddy's in jail. Yeah. He's only recently had his sentencing hearing. But yeah, he is. Rewind a little while, and I got his court records up. So yeah. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it a day here. We've been on nearly 2 hours. So I'll amend the title of this video slightly so that I can also let replay viewers know that we also talk about the Taylor Schabusiness case as well. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you to the mods as always. Thank you for the very generous donations that I got during this stream. It's not expected, but it's very, very much appreciated. So hopefully YouTube will deal with my copyright problem efficiently and quickly. And Mr. Holder, once again, all you need to do is retract that copyright strike, and all of this nonsense will just go away. The ball's in your court. He sent me something on Carly Russell. All right, I'll have a look. All right. All right, I'm out of here. It's gone nice now. It was cold this morning, but it's gone nice now. So I'm going to go and sit outside for a bit. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Friday. And I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye, guys.